Hey everyone! If you're a parent in Colorado trying to figure out the autism support system for your child, you already know it can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle with about 1,000 moving pieces. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're putting those pieces together, step by step, to help you navigate this whole system with a lot more confidence.
I mean, does this sound familiar? I bet it does. That feeling of just being completely overwhelmed by a sea of acronyms and applications, it's a shared experience for sure. And that's exactly why we put this explainer together. Our goal today is super simple, to turn all that confusion into clarity. All right, let's dive right in. We're going to start with the two big pieces you'll probably hear about right away. The most common therapy, which is ABA, and the public insurance that, for many families, is the key to paying for it, Medicaid. So first up, what in the world is ABA therapy really? Well, at its heart, it's a way of teaching that helps kids build really crucial life skills. We're talking about everything from communication and making friends to just handling daily routines. It's all about building independence in a way that's structured and supportive. Now, you're going to see these codes on insurance forms, and honestly, they can look like a foreign language, but they're actually pretty simple. When you see 97153, that's the hands-on, direct therapy your child is getting. And 97156, that one's just as important. That's the training that helps you, the caregiver, continue that progress at home. So, where does Medicaid fit into all this? Well, for a lot of families in Colorado, it is an absolute game changer. It covers ABA that's considered medically necessary. But here's the most important part. Balance billing is prohibited. That means once a service is approved, you shouldn't have to worry about surprise bills or out-of-pocket costs. And that right there is incredible peace of mind.
And who are the people actually guiding this therapy? They're professionals like Ann Alice Radlow, who's a board-certified behavior analyst, or a BCBA. You know, it's so important to remember that behind all these acronyms and codes are dedicated, compassionate experts who are really focused on helping your child and your family thrive.
Okay, so you've got the basics down. What's next? For kids who need a bit more support, we need to talk about the Children's Extensive Support Waiver, or what everyone just calls the CES waiver. This is a really powerful tool that goes way beyond just therapy.
This is the question we hear all the time. The word waiver just sounds confusing, right? It's so abstract. So let's break down what that journey actually looks like, from the first phone call to getting those services started. And here's the map. It all starts with a call to your county's single entry point. From there, it goes through a couple layers of review, checking for both functional need and financial eligibility. And you know, here's a little pro tip I've heard from so many parents who've been through this. Document everything. Keep a copy of every single form and write down every phone call. It can be a total lifesaver down the road. Now, once you get that approval, which is a huge deal, you've got a big choice to make. Do you want to go the agency route, where they handle all the hiring, payroll, and paperwork for your caregivers? Or do you want to be more hands-on with the self-directed model? That's where you actually become the employer, which gives you the flexibility to hire people you already know and trust, even family members. And this is where it gets really amazing. What can this waiver actually pay for? It is so much more than you might think. We're not just talking therapy here. We're talking about real-life support, like help with household chores, someone to help your child get out into the community, and, so importantly, respite care to give you a break. It can even help pay for things like swimming lessons or a summer camp. Now, we have to be real about this. While the steps are clear, the timeline can be, well, incredibly slow. This parent's experience is unfortunately really common. Getting that approval is a massive victory, but you have to be prepared for a long and sometimes frustrating wait. All right, now that we've got a handle on the big systems like Medicaid and the waivers, let's talk about filling out the rest of your toolkit. This is about finding the right tech and, just as importantly, connecting with the people and organizations who will have your back. Technology can be an absolute game changer. I mean, for a child who is nonverbal, a speech-generating device is their voice. So how do you get these tools? Often it's through your child's school as part of their IEP. But they can also be covered by Medicaid or the CES waiver under what's called durable medical equipment. And please remember this. You are not alone on this journey. Think of these organizations as your personal support crew. You've got groups like Family Voices that will help you navigate the waiver system for free. Peak Parents Center will teach you how to be a stronger advocate. And then you have places like the Autism Community Store and Parent to Parent to connect you with tools and other families who just get it. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. There are some day-to-day rules that can pop up and be a little confusing, but they're really important to understand. We'll start with something called EVV and then talk about a big new rule for therapists.
So, if you're getting any kind of care at home, you're going to run into EVV. It stands for Electronic Visit Verification. Basically, it's a digital clock-in, clock-out system, usually on an app, that caregivers use to prove that a visit actually happened. It's a federal rule designed to cut down on fraud.
But wait a minute. What if the caregiver is you or another family member who lives in the house? This is a super common question, especially for families using that self-directed option we talked about.
And here's the deal. The state of Colorado itself does not make live-in caregivers use EVV. That's a huge deal and offers a lot of flexibility. But, and this is a big but, the home health agency you're working with is allowed to have its own policy, and they might still require you to use it, so you always have to check with your agency.
Okay, now this next part is about a recent policy change that really shook things up. In the summer of 2024, the state suddenly announced that by the end of August, every single person providing direct ABA therapy had to be certified as a registered behavior technician, or RBT. And for families, what does this mean? Well, it could mean therapist turnover or delays in getting care while providers scramble to get their staff certified.
That whole RBT situation is a perfect reminder that this world is always changing. The system isn't static. It's constantly evolving, and there are some really big changes coming up in Colorado that you're going to want to have on your radar.
The big takeaway here is just that change is a constant. So keep an eye on things like the new Colorado System of Care. Keep your ears open for updates to billing rules from the Regional Accountable Entities, the RAEs. All of these things are going to shape what care looks like in our state moving forward.
And you know, that brings us to the final and really the most important question of all. After all of this, all the systems, all the policies, all the acronyms, and the waiting, how do we, as parents and providers and advocates, make sure we don't lose sight of what this is all about? How do we make sure our focus always comes back to the child at the center of everything? That's the real challenge, and it's the mission for all of us.